stop, oh, go rock, freak, don't stop, oh, go rock, freak, don't stop, oh, go rock, freak, don't stop, oh.
Who put the ball in the Wednesday net? Who put the ball in the Wednesday net? Who put that ball in the Wednesday net? Super Tyrese Campbell.
That was Sean Needham, and this is the Sheffield United Hodcast. I'm Matt, and as the Jane Torville to my Christopher Dean, it's Jonny.
Evening.
It's been a busy few days since we last did a Hod or a pod, Jonny. We've had a football match, which didn't go very well. We've sacked Ruben Sayers, and we've reappointed Chris Wilder. Initial thoughts before I run through what we're going to do tonight in our little pod.
Yeah, buzzing for Wilder 3.0. Obviously devastated Ruben Sayers has been sacked. Only kidding. I can't think of a single person at the Lane who wanted to keep Sayers. So last Friday night summed up the reason why he had to go.
Yeah, I think you're right there, but I do think you've got to get off the fence and just give us what you really think about Ruben Sayers' reign a little bit later on. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to go through three parts to the pod. We're going to talk about the Ipswich debacle. We're going to talk about the managerial change because we're the first side to make a change in the division. I'm going to put Jonny's knowledge of our worst managers to the test. And then if we've got a little bit of time left, we're going to preview the Charlton match. Does that sound all right to you, Jonny?
Yep, let's go for it.
So I think the first place and best place to start with that Ipswich debacle was, as it was coined in the 1983 Labour Political Party Manifesto, the longest suicide note in history. Sayers decided to put out a starting lineup. And when friend of the pod, Lee Starbuck, messaged me at 6:30 and said that Hamer and Campbell had both been dropped, what did I message you and say, Jonny?
Yeah, I'll give you some credit. You did message me saying that we would go on to lose 5-0.
I did indeed. And I also said to friend of the pod, Peter Cole, at lunchtime that day, that we would get hammered at Ipswich. And that was before I even knew that was happening. I mean, it was tongue-in-cheek that I said we'd lose 5-0. I was just ridiculously stunned, the same as everyone else, at what Sayers had decided to do. So, United allegedly lined up 4-2-3-1, which, again, supposedly has been the formation that we've been playing for big chunks this season. So we started Cooper in goal. Ben Godfrey started at right-back. Tanganga was right centre-half. McGuinness got his debut at left centre-half. Burrows played at left full-back. Sidney Peck was made captain and played this weird holding role again. Alex Matos made his debut. Andre Brooks started on the right-hand side. Callum O'Hare played a number 10 role. Louis Barry on the left wing. And then, surprise of the night, other than Hamer being dropped, was that Campbell was dropped and Tom Cannon started up front on his own. Thoughts on that lineup, Jonny?
Yeah, like everyone else, I was just shell-shocked that he dropped the best player in the Championship last season, Hamer, the only player who can take you from nothing to a match winner that we have actually got. I appreciate he's been poor this season, and then dropped our only goal scorer of the season in the league, Tyrese Campbell, and played Mr. Cannon Printer up top. So, yeah, I think everybody were just shell-shocked, and he signed his own death certificate before the game.
He did, and you made the joke in the Borough game that you were hoping he were writing out his resignation then. I think this was his attempt at writing out a resignation before the match. Because, it was just unbelievable what we decided to put out as a side. So, what I'll do, I'll whiz through the game quickly because, we don't want to spend too long talking about what happened because it was just a shambles and a mess. But you're going to do your player ratings, aren't you, after that? So United didn't start that bad. For about 5 or 10 minutes, we looked okay. George Ellick said it on Not the Top 20 that he'd messaged his mate who were an Ipswich match and said, "Oh, you must be worried you've not started that well." And he'd messaged his mate who's a United fan and said, "You must be quite happy you've not started too bad here." We didn't offer a lot, to be honest. We didn't offer much going forwards, but we didn't start that bad. We had a lot of possession and seemed a little bit more organised. Go on.
Just to jump in on that, obviously we started okay, but we
Yep.
were playing a team who were also without a win.
Oh, yeah.
So they weren't full of confidence.
Yeah.
So I think that let's not get carried away.
No, absolutely. I'm not getting carried away. Don't worry. I ain't got my I Heart Sayers sandwich board on, and I'm not ringing my bell here. But it was an okay-ish start for us. 20th minute, Matos made a big lunge in midfield. It ricocheted about 35 yards behind him, if not more. And then it left Philogene one-on-one with Godfrey, which was the pattern for the night, unfortunately. Godfrey showed him inside instead of outside. Philogene whipped it into the bottom corner, and Ipswich were winning. First half then just kind of progressed much of a muchness. Cooper had made a couple of saves, but that was about it. Second half is where it went to absolute pot for us. So Philogene stands up Godfrey again, goes inside, puts another one in. It was 2-0. The comedy goal of the night from George Hurst. It takes 3 or 4 ricochets. We lose the ball. Hurst just walks into the box. Genuine. If you haven't seen the highlights, people, watch it. It's comedy of errors. Hurst passes it through Cooper's legs into the back of the net to make it 3. We then make 4 substitutions, and it says 62 for 3 of them and 63 for the 4th. I think that's because of how long it took to make the subs, because we were doing that many in one go. Things did not improve. They just got worse. Philogene completes his hat-trick. He scores with his left this time. And then Jack Clark scores another horrendous goal from our point of view to make it 5. There was one significant thing, though. What did Tom Cannon manage to achieve, Jonny, in this match?
So Mr. Thomas Cannon actually achieved our first shot on target away from home this season.
No,
Therefore, he should start every game, and Sayers should be brought back. No, I think if we're just going back to first half, we looked okay for like 20 minutes. Like I said, we were playing a team who were low on confidence as well, but have got quality players.
Yep.
The first goal just summed it up, though, that we were fragile, and you never thought we were going to score after that point. You didn't really think we were going to score before. We looked quite toothless. However, after the first goal goes in, you could have just blown for full time because we offer nothing really.
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, you mentioned fragility there, and I listening to the other pods and media and different things around United on forums and stuff. Everyone's mentioned fragility a lot this season, but it was also, if we're being fair, a theme that cropped up last season and certainly the year before under Heckingbottom and Wilder in the Premier League.
Yeah, the season before in the Premier League, definitely. However, look at the quality opposition. Yep. Last season, we got 92 points, essentially. Yeah. So the fragilities were there at times. However, the players were battling for each other. They were playing for the shirt. They'd go in and make a challenge. Look at the duels this season. So we're bottom of the league for duels, number of duels won.
Yep.
Would you associate that with any Sheffield United side?
No, absolutely. You're right. And Wilder's referenced that Anthony in his press conference today.
Yeah. We're also third bottom for the distance covered running. Yeah. Again, you don't associate that with any United side. An example is we've been at Cop 30 years. If the defender's got the ball for the opposition on the edge of their box, one of our players chases him down 60 yards to close him down.
Mm-hmm.
If he then kicks it against him, it goes out for a goal kick, all the cops stand up and applaud.
Oh, they do. Yeah, absolutely. And it is what everyone expects, isn't it? That's the thing. You're right there.
Yeah,
So,
it's getting your basics right first.
oh yeah, absolutely. I don't doubt that. And this has been certainly a recurring pattern, anti to Sayers' reign, that we don't seem to be running. We're not chasing. We're not tackling. So should we jump to your player ratings, Jonny? Do you want to whiz us through the team and how you feel they performed, and I'll tell you why you're wrong as you go.
Yeah, so I've already discussed this with you over the last few days, but the players voted with their feet, and these scores that I'm going to give these players show that.
Mm.
So Cooper, I'm giving him a 3. He
Generous.
made a couple of decent saves and a decent couple of contributions in the first half. There was one early on where Leif Davis flashed the ball across, and Cooper actually got a decent hand to it and flicked it over Akpom's head. Akpom would have tapped that in.
Yeah, you're right there.
Saved at his near post as well. And then after that, obviously, the third goal's terrible from him.
Yeah.
And the fourth goal, he might look at that back and think, I could have done something with that.
Well,
he hasn't been the same goalkeeper this season. He's not been the same. I'm sure everybody can see that. But when the team's no confidence, then you can't expect your goalkeeper to have it all.
Agreed.
Godfrey, I'm going for a 1. I'm going for a 1 for Godfrey. The player was marking, scored a hat-trick. That sums it up.
It does.
And he showed him inside.
That's it.
We discussed it. He showed him inside, and likewise, when we were in the Premier League, we were on about it the other day. They showed Hudson-Odoi inside when we were at Forest a couple of times. Different player, I appreciate. Yeah. However, it was just like that again.
It was.
You can't do it. It's schoolboy football.
It is, and this is the thing, isn't it? You got to know your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. And as you pointed out to me quite gladly, Godfrey was in that same squad, wasn't he, as Philogene last season? So you think he'd have a bit of knowledge.
He knew what they were all about,
Yeah.
So move on to Tanganga. I've given him a 4. You can't lay maybe a goal at his, but it was sort of in and around the areas of, some poor defending at times. He looked completely frustrated. McGuinness, a 3. For a big centre-half, he lost a lot of duels and he lost the flight of the ball a couple of times, which did lead to one of the goals.
Mm-hmm.
Burrows said to you on previous shows that his forms fell off a cliff, but I guarantee you he will be back to somewhere near his best on Saturday.
You're probably right.
Against Charlton.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
Sidney Peck played the holding role, made him captain. I thought first half he looked okay. I did think he looked okay. However, the second half he was non-existent.
Yeah.
Matos, he charged about well for 25 minutes. Obviously, we gave the goal away. He was unlucky with that. He slid in to make a block and it just ricocheted through 70 yards. And lad finished it. Charged about a lot. Looked like he wouldn't get stuck in. But nobody can come out with any credit, as we know.
No, I mean, just to jump on that with Matos, I think that Matos' performance kind of summed up how our midfield's been this season. There's been flashes of they're still good players, but you hit the nail on it. He just charged about. That's all. He just ran all over. And he's just been holding midfielder. And he's running.
There's no structure. You can't tell me. So Matos and Peck were playing as a two holders, but there were no structure. You couldn't tell me with that game kicked off. You wouldn't have thought there were 2 holders.
No, agreed.
There's no structure.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Brooks, I've given him a 3. He did nothing. Did 2 or 3 times. It was like a replay where he just crossed it out straight out of play.
Yeah.
Just floated it in, head on hands.
Well,
Hands
that's
on
been
head.
his season, hasn't it? That's been
Yeah,
Bucks'
that's
season.
been his season. O'Hare, he runs about. He didn't affect the game. I've given him a 4. Louis Barry, did he play for us? He,
Yeah.
I've given him a 3. I can't see what he brought to the
No.
what he's brought all season. To be fair, he's flashed for like 15 minutes in games and that's it. I
It fe-
don't think he'll feature much under
no.
Wilder.
It feels like an impact player at best, does Barry, which for his pedigree,
Yes,
he's obviously going to be disappointed with.
it's disappointing, but if we're going to be a confident side
Hmm.
and start winning games, maybe it will flourish then. But I
Yeah.
don't think he'll get in because I believe that Hamer will play on the left. He won Championship Player at Year on left. On the
Yeah.
last episode, we talked about it. I played a 4-4-2 and I put Hamer back out on the left.
Mm.
So back to the other night, Mr. Cannon played up top. I've given him a 3 purely because he had our first shot on target away from home this season.
Thank you, Tom Cannon. Fire the cannon.
Yeah, we're coming to substitutes. So Campbell, Samari, Hamer, and Chong all came on around similar times. I've given them a 4. They couldn't affect the game. The game was gone. Yeah, writing was on the wall, and the rest is history. Sariki comes on. Well, we didn't even know he'd come on, did we? And then, yeah, the rest, that was it.
Well, I think the thing is when Streak comes on, you kind of shut in stable door after Orson Bolton, aren't you? Godfrey's had to run around all night by Philogene, and then we decided to make the change at right back then after all the damage was done. I mean, I've wrote one word down for this performance, and it was just absolute chaos. And in many ways, it kind of summed up Sayers' time in charge of United. If you had to give Sayers a rating out of 10, Johnny, for his performance as manager that night?
Absolute 0.
Absolute 0. And I suppose that does take us nicely onto the fact that we've had a change in the dugout. So Mr. Sayers was relieved of duty on Sunday. It started trending, didn't it, Saturday, that he was going to go. We'd originally planned to record Saturday night. We thought, we'll just wait because there'll be a few more developments that happen in between now and then. So Sayers sacked. Wrong or right decision, Johnny? 6 games.
1,000,000% correct. I appreciate 6 games is not a long time. However, can anybody say anything positive about anything that happened during his tenure? Can anybody say they could see us winning a game soon? I know I've spoke to a few people and said maybe we could have given him the Charlton game. However, we'd have lost that game 1-0. And it's another game gone then. Personally, I would have brought Wilder in after the Middlesbrough game.
Yeah.
And give him that 2 weeks to prepare. However, if you're coming in as a manager, Charlton at home is the sort of game you want, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there's always that. And you look at most teams, they will time it around a time where the new manager's got a decent run of fixtures that they're going to win. I mean, what do you reckon to the theory that the reason they held off on the managerial change till after the transfer window closed was down to the fact that it doesn't look good when you're trying to recruit new players and you've got no one in post? So if we were to sack, say, a Saturday night after the Middlesbrough game and the transfer window shuts Monday, do you think that that's probably why the board have gone, well, we need someone in post as a bit of a, I've heard the term dubbed as a night watchman like in cricket. What do you think?
Yeah, it depends, obviously, how quickly you're going to bring the manager in. I do believe the signings that we made at the latter part of the window were all Wilder type signings. He's gone on record and said that he's admired Tanganga, Ben Mee. It would have looked at McGuinness, Matos. I actually said to you when we reviewed the transfer window that I believe 2 players weren't the Wilder type signings and were actually sellers' own signings. One was Bindon,
Yeah.
and the other one was Louis Barry, and I don't think that either of them will be in favour with Wilder going forward.
No, I think you're probably right, and I think we are going to see a return, aren't we, to this industry and challenge. I mean, Wilder said today in his interview, it's not old school, it's just right school, and I did like that because there is a tendency to say that we want style over substance, or you want performance over results because people want to be entertained. I mean, you're shaking your head at me because football is a results business at the end of the day, isn't it? And you want to see your team winning football matches.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get over the line, and there's nothing better than when you've gone to an away game, you've been battered, and you do a smash and grab. That feeling, it's unreal, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, so Wilder's come back. Now, he said, I think Rob Staten asked him today, didn't he? He said, if this was anyone else other than Sheffield United, would you have come back? And he said, probably not, no. So I straight away had Steve Martin in that episode of The Simpsons in my head where he said it's gratifying to leave you wallowing in the mess you deserve, and then walks off and leaves Homer to be the sanitation commissioner for Springfield. There was a slight risk attached to this, but Wilder coming back, what do you think it suggests about the board and the direction of travel?
I think it's very big of the board because it's basically admitting that they've got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't expect it. It's the right fit to galvanise the club going forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's come out, and Wilder said it openly that they left on amicable terms.
Mm-hmm.
So the door was always there. Apparently, got the call Friday to come back. Whether that was when the team selection came out, they'd seen enough. Whether it was when we went 2-0 down, 3-0 down, 4-0 down, 5-0 down, or at full time.
Yeah.
But apparently, he got the call Friday. Wilder said that today in his interview. So,
well, I think he must have, or Steve Bettis was stood next to me in Morrison's when that team selection landed. I think that's why they've done that. Just saw the horror on my face at that selection. So yeah, I mean, you've said it's a big thing from the board, and weirdly, the board seems to have come out with quite a bit of credit from this. And I've heard the term humility thrown about a lot, and eating humble pie. I suppose, as with anything, we change management, there is going to be mistakes along the way. And the board have been quick to rectify this. I mean, we had issues with the signings, didn't we, at the start? They altered strategy and went back to the older ways of doing stuff. Now this with the manager, what are you going to say?
if you look at this in Wilder's shoes, this him leaving and then coming back, he should actually get more time now. If we'd have had a poor start to the season this year and Wilder was at the helm, he may have been gone at Christmas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then and at that point, people probably wouldn't have wanted him back, and it's a lot easier not to bring him back then. So to me, it's a brave decision. It's a good decision, and it's going to unite the club. We lost our identity, didn't we? How many times have we said we look poor, we're toothless, we don't go into challenges anymore? Like I said, we touched on it earlier, the running stats. It's all there, just points to one way. And the atmosphere should be decent on Saturday.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah, it'll be electric. It's like the third coming of Christ on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, it had to happen. You know, Sayers had to go, and obviously there was the risk that the board again might go left field, and they could have brought in someone like Gary O'Neill, which would have been very, very underwhelming, or Danny Roll. I mean, I like Danny Roll as a manager. You know that. There's no secrets there. And friend of the pod, Scott Sawyer, worships Danny Roll. So I don't think that would have been a bad appointment. But I think given the situation we're in, that could have been absolutely horrendous if Roll had been given the job over Wilder at this time.
Yeah, given the fractured nature of the club at the minute, it could have been disastrous. Yeah, it could have turned fans against fans and caused an even bigger divide.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, what I liked in Wilder's press conference today was he was talking about future coaches joining his coaching team. And I think Wilder reigned one when it fell apart in that COVID season. There was no plan for life beyond Chris Wilder. Wilder 2.0, yes, wasn't quite the same as the high years of finishing ninth in the Premier League and back to promotion season, promotion again. Didn't quite have the same highs, and obviously we lost in the playoff final. But there wasn't a real plan for Wilder going. It was a case of, right, we want something different, we'll get something different, we'll bring Sayers in, but then no actual strategy behind it. It was all talk and no trousers. And now we've had to go back to Wilder again. But what he said in his press conference today was talking about young coaches, which suggests to me there's been a slight mindset shift in thinking about a succession plan, which is a big step forward. I mean, I don't know if you've got what you want to say on that, and then we'll talk about the best bit of Ruben Sayers' reign.
Jesus, that'll take us 5 seconds. So, yeah, just on that succession plan, I believe they've moved up Mickey Collins, have they?
Yeah, Mickey Collins, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, I don't think he's going to be future Sheffield United manager, do you?
No, but again, it's more the fact that we are thinking about the future in the management and the coaching side rather than just on the pitch. And there's work to do behind the scenes, technical director, football director, all that stuff, sorting out the training ground, sorting out the academy and building stuff and getting the infrastructure right. All that needs doing. But at least it's been said today, and maybe that's because Wilder's a bit more of a mouthpiece, and I mean that in a positive sense, not that he's a gobble, in that we've actually considered it and we're thinking about a future.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's even said that he's open to part AI. It's that balance, isn't it, between the old school and the AI and not losing that identity of what we are as a football club. I believe that they're looking at bringing the Prince back on as an advisor and maybe a small stakeholder, which I think is a good move. Since
Yeah,
Prince has done it.
well, he has. And again, whether you like the Prince or not, and we can all go revisionist theory and this, that, and the other, you know, it's another bit of experience, isn't it, to an inexperienced board. And they've shown their inexperience and they've shown their naivety at times with some of the decision making thus far. So, best bit of Ruben Sayers' reign. Go on.
I'm going to have to let you go first because I can't think of one. His resignation has got to be, well, sorry, not his resignation. The sacking of Ruben Sayers is the best bit of his reign. I don't come up with a good thing.
I am happy that he fell out with Jack Robinson and sold him. That's the only positive for me because I do feel otherwise we would have lumbered through this season with Jack Robinson at left centre half.
Yes, and I have touched on that with you in previous episodes where Robinson was Wilder's biggest mistake in a lot of people's opinions last season.
Yeah.
Persevering with him and not playing holding. Obviously,
Yeah.
we went through it all on the last show, the transfer special, where he wanted to sign Tanganga. And if he'd have signed him, I think we'd have gone up last year.
No, I do think you're right, and I don't mean to scapegoat Jack Robinson on this. I didn't rate him as a centre half. I thought he was a very, very average Championship centre half, and you can't build a side that's challenging for automatic promotion on that. You just can't. So that was my best bit of Ruben Sayers. Now, this takes us nicely on to your little test for the evening, Jonny. So I have gone for who I consider are 6 worst managers of the last, what would it be, 30 years. So your 6 choices are Ruben Sayers, Mickey Adams, David Weir, Nigel Adkins, Adrian Heath, and Slavisa Jokanovic. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to read out someone's record, and you've got to tell me which bad manager it is.
Right, okay, let's go for it.
Okay. So I'll start you off nice and easy. This manager played 6, won none, drew none, lost 6.
The wonderful Ruben Sayers.
That was Ruben Sayers. You are indeed correct. This manager, I was surprised. Played 54, won 22, drew 14, and lost 18.
Played 54.
Played 54. Includes the cup. So you've got Adams, Jokanovic, Weir, Heath, or Adkins.
Heath?
It's not. It's not Heath. It's Nigel Adkins. He had 54 games in charge.
Yeah, it's strange, that one.
Okay, this one. Played 13, won 1, drew 3, lost 9.
That's Mr. David Weir.
That is indeed Mr. David Weir. So you've got 2 out of 3 so far. It's not bad, not bad. These get a little bit trickier because the records are surprisingly similar to them, actually. So this is the guy who won the least out of the remaining 3. Played 24, won 4, drew 5, lost 20. Oh, hang on. My maths has gone wrong. Oh, no. He lost 19, that one.
Mickey Adams.
Mickey Adams, yes, sorry. And he played more than 24. It's not counting me cup ones in my thing. But yes, you're right. It was Mickey Adams, that one. Well done. This guy played 23, won 7, drew 6, lost 10.
Slav?
No, it was Adrian Heath.
Adrian Heath. Yeah,
Adrian Heath. Yeah, and I was surprised at that. I can't remember Adrian Heath winning 7 matches. I really can't. Slav won. He won 8.
He didn't play 23, did he?
No, he won 8 of his games in charge, Slav. So you didn't do bad there, Jonny, really, out of our terrible managers. Favourite of those 6 absolute disgraces?
Yeah, I don't have one, really. Probably Mickey Adams because he replayed, that's it.
He did, and he inherited a low on confidence side, didn't he, Mickey Adams, to be fair to him. So that was the damned era of Ruben Sayers finished, and he'll go down probably as one of our worst ever managers. We've got Charlton on Saturday. What do you reckon?
It's going to sound daft, but I've never been so confident of winning a game.
Really?
I think it will be blood and thunder, players on side, pretty much like, can you remember Wilder's, it was his second game back, because obviously he had Liverpool at home on the Wednesday night where you don't expect much.
Yeah,
and we played Brentford at home. I think it'll be very similar to that Saturday, where they're running through a brick wall, bit of quality, crowd on side, and I think we'll win the game. I'm going for 2-0.
2-0 United?
Yes.
That's interesting. I'm with you in that I think the atmosphere will be great. I think they'll be up for it. I think the players will charge around. They'll give it a lot. My only thing is Charlton's. It's a good match for us because they're not a great side. What does trouble me slightly is that it's Nathan Jones and they're horrible. You know, they really are. It's a Nathan Jones side is always disciplined. They're always difficult. You know, they get stuck into you. They waste a lot of time. It's never great. Do you know what I mean? With those, but same as you, I do think they'll win. I really do. I think we'll turn them over on Saturday. I think the big thing is the atmosphere will be decent. It will be a good atmosphere. I really think that. Just for clarity, everyone, I've not gone mental. Mickey Adams, it was 1-4, drew 5, and lost 15 out of his 24 games. I just wrote the wrong number down in the wrong column on that one and missed the 15 out. But yeah, I think the Charlton match, I genuinely think we'll win that. I think we'll be up for it. The atmosphere will be electric. It's the first match with safe standing, which is going to be nice as well. Where we are at the back of the cop, we've got safe standing in place. Well done, everyone who petitioned and campaigned for that. That's going to be nice. It'll be a nice alternative to my dad tapping us on the shoulder once to say sit down.
I think it likes a little bit of atmosphere as well.
Yeah, it will. So it will. It'll be good, that. So I think, unless you've got anything else, Johnny, we're about done on this one. It's been a busy few days. I mean, we're hoping after the Charlton match, we'll just be able to review that and not talk about a sacking or 17 players being signed or anything like that. We're hoping it might be a little bit more of a quiet period. I'm exhausted from the last few days trying to keep on top of everything. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's been that waiting for everybody asking you, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Have you seen anything? Has Wilder back yet? Is it Wilder? And then, it's just been refreshing the screen waiting, hasn't it? But
it has. And it's been another one of rumours got out and it's not seemed well controlled. But we're there. It's done. We're at home Saturday. We're going to hand us over to Sean to play us out. All I've got left to say is up the blades.
good night, up the blades.
Don't stop up. Go rock, go rock. Freak, don't stop up. Go rock, go rock. Freak, don't stop up.